So I think all in all, that was a success. We found out that the power antenna works. The passenger side headlight goes up and down. The driver's side one is frozen, but the relays on that motor work. What else? The blower fan works.
All the HVAC stuff works.
All the HVAC stuff came to life.
Taillights work.
Taillights work. Headlights work. The driver's one has a burned out low beam. The hole under the driver's seat is ridiculous. It's quite large.
Oh.
Yeah. That's why the driver's seat leans a little bit. There's probably a good 10-inch hole in the floor pan, just straight through, like just carpet. So that will need fixed. If any rust is going to be repaired, that will need addressed. So, yeah. I think it'd be a good little car. The whole underside's kind of rusty. Not gonna lie. It's got pretty thick rust on the bottom. So, not hoping to be anything spectacular. But if we can make it go fast, that's gonna be the whole point of the project. Put it back on the road, make it go fast. Someone else can deal with the rust. What the hell happened here?
That was the mangled, that was the clip for the fuel line that I couldn't get off.
I see that. It's all sorts of wiggly now. Oh well. Ben, surprisingly untouched. You know, you got your cold start starting fluid reservoir. All the emissions. All this fun jazz. It may look like a lot, but it's really not. To understand what you're looking at. You know. There's a throttle positioning sensor buried in here on a carburetor. Yep. So that's fun. But yeah. Cool. That's a wrap. This was a lot of fun to take this car apart, actually. I rather enjoyed it more than I thought I would, actually. So we started off pulling off the hood. Rusty bolt snapped off in the hood. We removed it later on. Low impact does wonders, though it doesn't really combat rust at all. Then we were trying to figure out what to do next, so we decided to drain the coolant from the radiator. Struggling to get those radiator hoses off. They were crusty. I tell you what, how crusty they were, man. So we're looking for the drain plug on the radiator. It was hidden up under the skid plate. I forgot about that part. So we decided to throw the car up on jack stands once we got the radiator drained. It's amazing how low these cars are. So get that Harbor Freight out and mop up the coolant that spilled. Rotaries are just incredibly messy. It's the enjoyment of it, though. You know, it's all part of it. Wouldn't change it for the world. Then we moved the camera to a different shot of the engine bay as we take everything apart. In reality, I mean, this was like a 2-day thing for us to film and tear everything down all at the same time, keeping track of the cameras, charging the batteries, swapping out cards. A lot more than originally anticipated. But you know what? You know, it's a learning curve. This is the whole learning process of this. So we're gonna get the AC compressor. That was kind of a cool thing this car had. It was a base model with AC, basically means GS. The original AC compressor probably never been serviced. It was quite difficult to get everything off in one piece because I was trying to make sure I could save all the AC lines. And I managed to not save any of them, but oh well. Wasn't meant to be, but took extra time to attempt in this. Brandon ended up cutting a bunch of the rubber hoses because they were so crusty and in a tight space. For a little bit of ease of disassembly, we decided to cut it off. Had to twist every single hose. Every single hose got twisted. Once that large AC compressor was off, started working on removing all of the cables to the carburetor, the choke cable, the cruise control cable, the throttle cable, both, and working on keeping everything intact here as well. Sending PB Blaster everywhere, just want to dunk the whole engine in PB Blaster. And once we got all the cables and hoses disconnected from the engine, we started working on under the car, looking at the transmission mounting points, and then we just were like, oh yeah, drive shaft. So I had to put the rear of the car back on the ground real quick to get the drive shaft off. Let's take apart the interior trim to get the shifter, boot, and lever removed so that they could come out the bottom of the car, because we were planning on pulling the engine and the trans together. So admiring how everything in the interior was sun-baked and broken, and then we were finally able to get the crane on the engine, loosening things, finding more lines to disconnect, and we kind of wheeled it out of there, pulling oil and coolant everywhere we went. Gotta get a pic for the gram.